Roll call.
Barry.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Mansmith. Wisniewski. Soda. Ernst.
Here.
You're good.
All right. Give you a moment to read over the minutes from our March meeting. And I'll obtain a motion to approve or any changes.
I'll move to approve.
Motion is made to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Don't everybody jump at once. Been seconded by Mr. Ernst. Any other discussion? Any changes on the minutes? If not, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? They are approved. Discussion items, Park Pavilion roofing project. Mike?
Yep, so just a little history. We did put that out for bid in an RFP or Q, request for proposal, and we got 0. So I reached out to 3 contractors and 2 of them returned bids. They were happy to do that, so I'm not sure why, they're local, I'm not sure why they did not go that route, but the 2 were over there. I think, I know both of those are capable of the project.
Yep.
Definitely Modern Pole and definitely Kevin there. Kevin actually does the work for Modern Pole. So when he does this stuff on the side. So I would recommend both of them. Obviously, I think the cheaper one would be the way to go. The reason we're bringing it here too is I did only budget $10,000 for that. We've seen significant price increases over the course here, so it is over. And I don't think we have a choice but to get it done.
The roof is really deteriorating badly.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So we need to, probably should have been done last year. But, so it's up to you guys if you got any questions.
Is there any confirmation that the prices haven't increased since you got the bid? Because both bids said they were good for
I
you.
did not talk to him since then. I've reached out to Kevin. He didn't say that there was or wasn't an increase, but we can go back. We'll surely find out one way or another. They could have gone up a little bit.
Generally, they stay pretty flat for us though, once they
Put them in.
put them in.
They're
for
pretty
us.
good. I think Modern put in their 10-day.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it fluctuates up and down. You can see the 2x4s go up and down like a yo-yo. So
Hey, maybe it went down in price.
maybe it went down in price. I don't think that we'll see that, but
But the cost in gas for getting it there went up. so-
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, where are we looking at for the extra?
We pull it,
6,200?
I mean, it would, we don't really have a choice. I think ultimately, we'd have to look at Mike's overall budget and just see where we can cut back on something.
as of this month, the overall budget, we're doing really, really well. Like unbelievably well. So this stuff we've been doing is making a difference. So I think we're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And I, like I said, we don't really have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, with me being up there multiple days during the spring and the ball season, we're losing more and more shingle because I'm picking it up constantly
Yep.
from the ball field, so it definitely needs. When would they be able to start work?
Chris would probably start within a month or so.
Okay.
And if we need to, I don't think we would need to delay that. Should be able to work around that.
Okay.
Games and stuff like that, no problem.
Yeah. Well, I know they're done by the end of June,
Yep.
so pretty much if we're looking at a month,
I told
he
them
should be
it
clean.
had to be
on-
done before, I think October or something like
Mhm.
that, so.
Well, this is just a discussion item.
Oh, we can add. it's
I was
fine.
gonna say, we can move it to an action item
Can
to
add.
recommend it to
Fine.
council for approval.
Well, we need to move on it, so
Yes.
we're just getting the blessing to do it here. I
Okay,
think that's
keeping it within
appropriate.
committee?
Yep,
Alright.
and we'll go from there, because it's not large enough to take to necessarily council. It's been budgeted for, it's just over.
It's over.
And
Okay.
we just, before we authorized it, we wanted somebody else to give us the go-ahead.
Mhm.
We did bid it out, like you said, nobody
Yeah.
submitted any proposal for the bid. You know, that's posting it in the paper, posting it online, trying to solicit bids, nobody did anything, so then we had to sort of get a couple bids, and it was over.
As everything is.
We would have hoped that by bidding it, it would have been less, but nobody bid it. So,
Okay, well,
we're
I'll
just
make-
making a motion,
I'll
yeah.
make a motion to accept the bid of $16,278 from Kletke Home Improvements for the re-roofing of the pavilion between Diamond 5 and 6 at Murray Park. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that moves on.
First vote, Artie.
You're in the groove right now.
Go.
Okay with green roof, okay?
I would keep it the same as like we did on the upper
Okay.
pavilions.
You lost on that one.
Well, I wanted the, I like the green.
What color do you guys want,
We
yeah?
get the choice.
Okay, we'll get it going.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Park Master Plan Project and Survey. We'll turn
I
it
can-
over to the expert.
So Dan Rammer here is from MSA. So for those of you that are new to the commission here, committee, you can see it, there's some park master planning we are working through with MSA. Dan is here to kind of give an update, go over a survey that we hope to issue or get clearance to issue to the public after tonight's meeting, to begin the process of collecting information for park master planning. The focus of the master plan has been mostly Barlow, Selfridge, Soresco, and Horner Park, so kind of that area. Murray Park has sort of been master planned through the senior center project, but we plan on also sort of taking this information and applying it across the other parks like Murray and Eagle. It's a $26,000 venture for us to put together the plans. Ultimately, they will sort of become a component of the community outdoor recreation plan that we have. So it'll be kind of an extension and set a vision and a goals and funding opportunities for the parks moving forward. So it's meant for people to be able to dream big, engage the public in a way we haven't for a while when it comes to parks, and then help drive future projects and investments in the parks. The survey part of it is sort of where we're focusing today, but Dan, if you want to talk about kind of just to give the background to where we're at with it all and anything like that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I think you covered a lot of it. A lot of times these are necessary or recommended for funding opportunities. It gives you maybe anywhere from starting improvements next year to 25, 30 years down the road. It's something that you can start putting into your capital improvement plans and stuff like that. So it's just a way to really figure out what people want in the community, especially this phase. I can kind of show you how we broke this down. So right now, we're at this task 1.4, the public engagement phase 1. Essentially, what we're looking at is probably running the survey for the month of June. That's what we're in, yeah. Trying to get as much feedback from the community, as well as, you know, talking to Adam and Mike and Howard over there. We had our initial kickoff meeting. They kind of said, you know, this is what we want to focus on. So we kind of tailored certain areas of each park, or I guess each park in general, to having a general theme, I guess, if you will. I know, for example, like Horner Park, we kind of talked about more of a, not having a big playground, being more of a quieter park to go sit and, I don't know, listen to the water, or, you know, things like that. So each one, and then like Ceresco had the historical monument there, so trying to preserve some of these areas and things like that. So that's what the master planning is all about. Obviously, it can change drastically depending on what people want or what you guys say. But that's, so we kind of had that kickoff meeting, and then myself and a couple other team members went out and looked at the sites and took pictures and things like that. And also got an inventory of what's existing at each park. So whether it's playground equipment, that kind of thing. So we're really just kind of getting into the, like I said, public engagement part, which is probably one of the more important parts, because it's really what drives the next concept development, where we take this survey, we analyze it, probably talk to you guys again and say, you know, this is kind of what we're seeing, you know, is this the route we want to go? So making sure that the community is involved, there's major stakeholders involved, if there's clubs or, I know Murray Park, I think, is the big one for baseball. I know that's a lot of times a big driving force if there's workout clubs or athletic clubs or any of that type of thing, people who regularly go there and use it and get their buy-in. So again, we're at this little blue dot right here. We're pretty much right on schedule from what we laid out. And so I guess if you guys have any questions, you can ask them now as far as the master planning overall. Otherwise, we can get into the survey and just kind of talk about what we did. All right. So there's a link. I guess, Adam, maybe this is a question for you. How are you planning to distribute this survey? Are you going to have a link on the city's website? Are you going to go through the school district and have them send it out to parents' emails? Are you
We'll do it all.
Parks and Rec? Are you going to send out mailers? Are you going to post on social? Like it's just
Social media mostly will be the driving force, I think, unless anybody else has you know, I think I can share it with committee members if they can get it out. Social media, city's website, talk about it in the paper. You know, I don't think we have to do mailers.
Yeah, that's kind of an archaic way of getting them out there now, because of, you know, social media is so easy and readily available, and the survey's online anyways. So sending out a mailer, unless you're going to send out paper forms of this thing, a mailer is going to be like, hey, go to this website and you got to type it in or something like that or whatever. So if you're not getting any sort of feedback or something like that, you know, that's where like the school district, you know, could be helpful.
You might need paper forms for older people, though.
And that was discussed. If it's requested, we can obviously get something, or maybe we just have a couple here.
The library.
The library, yeah, I think we can somehow print off a couple copies and have them here and down at the library.
Sure. So, just kind of a starting point, I guess, of how you want to get it out there.
I was gonna say, what if at all the parks you put like a sign up with like a QR code that took you right to the website from their phone? I
You
mean,
do something like that.
Yep.
or,
Put it by a pavilion.
yeah, put it up by the pavilion or something, like a QR code like that big, from 10 feet away, they could pick up their phone and it would take them right to the website.
Can you create one of those fancy QR codes, Dan?
We can. actually.
Oh, you
They're
can?
not that hard to
Mike
do.
can?
I was gonna say, I don't know how to do it, but if Mike can do it, I'm guessing.
Lisa can do it, right?
Hopefully it goes to the right site.
Can't figure it out, I'll do it for you, because we do it for the business all the time.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not that hard, is it?
Yeah.
I haven't done it, I'm sure, and I'm not the one who, I helped develop this survey. I'm not the one who actually put in all the time and effort for everything. I'm a civil engineer who plays in parks, not literally plays.
Right.
Sometimes we play basketball in parks, right? But you know, I've worked on several park projects, but we do have two other guys who are crunch all the numbers, and you know, this is what we're saying, so this is where we're gonna go. I was hoping one of them could make it here tonight, but they're at other meetings, so here I am. So you know, I'll do my best to explain why everything, and if there's questions or anything like that, I will figure out the answers to them. So essentially, in the introduction here, we just have, you know, explaining briefly what is happening here, why we're doing it. We got the 4 parks: Barlow, Ceresco, Horner, and Selfridge. And a lot of this is repeat. Once you see the first park, a lot of them are going to be the same. So we got a brief map in here. So it's really super simple. It's on SurveyMonkey. You shouldn't need to download anything. It's just a website. So you go to next. Ask some demographics and stuff like that. How old are you? Do you have children? And this is really for trying to get a grasp of what, say, people in their 30s with kids might want, or you know, maybe their grandparents bring their kids there or something like that. If they're, you know, older and all of a sudden they're like, well, I want to bring my grandkids, but this is prohibiting me, or we'd like to see this. So that's really why we ask this. It's really not we don't care how old you are and how old the people are using your parks, but and then, you know, it's just some very surface level questions. How often do you visit them? Things like that. So I think that's really all that's on this one. So pretty self-explanatory. And then we go into so we start with Barlow Park. Again, another image. How often do you visit? Which of the following amenities, activities have you used? So this is where it gets a little bit more park specific, because obviously like Horner Park, there isn't a ton of amenities there right now, but we have all sorts of like the baseball fields, the horseshoe pits, basketball courts, shelters, all that kind of stuff. We don't list every single thing here. One thing, we do have open space on there, right? I read right past it. So there's what, 10, 1, 2, 3-ish things there, and if we miss something, and a bunch of people keep saying, you know, other, and there's this major commodity there, we can address it. But essentially, we tried to hit the big action items, I guess, if you will. Which of the following? So then rate them. How good are they right now? Which of the following amenities would you like to be included? So this is kind of what we're seeing a trend for. So like certain things like the outdoor fitness, the bocce ball courts, bike repair stations. So like a lot of these are what we're seeing in the industry, what people in other communities are doing, and that type of thing. So there are obviously, this one can be, pickleball courts is probably the biggest one right now, but this one I think is where you might see some variation in what people actually want. I think this other item will be used a little bit more on this one than some of the other ones. So I think that's all that we have. Yeah, so really there's one page per park, right? So then Ceresco has same top level questions, and then obviously there's less at Barlow is one of the bigger parks in town here. So and Ceresco's a little bit smaller. There's the shelter, there's the playground equipment, basketball court, I think, over there. So again, this is where you start seeing the repetition. It really isn't all that in depth. Obviously, space is at a premium over in Ceresco Park. You don't quite have the area as you do in say, Barlow Park. So, any questions to this point? Is there anything that you guys are saying we're really missing this? Is there something that popped into your head right away that was like, I'd like to see this question asked?
Why isn't Murray Park part of this?
So Murray Park, there's two reasons why. We sort of did an exercise like this with the placement of the senior center for Murray Park, including the addition of trails, the construction of the senior center, the relocation of the disc golf course, and then installation of amenities around the quads and the ball diamonds. I know it's an important question, and I think ultimately when we were going through this, we had sort of done this exercise up there and have a plan in place already. And from a budgetary standpoint, I don't believe that there's going to be much difference from a response to, say, Barlow as Murray with what we need to do up there. We certainly can put a question about Murray Park in here, but I can show you sort of the planning out of what it looks like and what we were planning on doing up there already.
Was there a survey for it that went out for Murray Park?
There wouldn't have been like a survey. It would have been more or less done in coordination with the senior center project. So.
I guess I'm just thinking, if it's meant to like, years from now, like build up this big plan, I guess I'd be interested to see what people's feedback is about Murray, to see if there's other stuff, especially if we're talking planning for,
And I think it's good, and I think if we can add just a survey about Murray Park on there, and from the standpoint of, we're doing, the budget we have for this project is around $25,000. It was approved. We don't certainly want to short sell Murray Park. That is not it. And I think we can evolve this into next year, doing more with Murray Park. But there are immediate projects that need to happen up in Murray Park.
Right.
And that's where I sort of think we are, through the senior center project, we are jumping that park ahead to try to get some things done before we get this whole effort done and have a laundry list of now every other park to deal with as well. So, Mike and I have talked a lot about this. Should Murray Park be allowed in this? I think yes, it should be. I think it's an important component, but the budget for this sort of cut it out. Just based on the proposals. So. But we can add a question. I don't think it hurts to add a question.
Does it change our fee with you guys to add in another park? I guess.
I don't know how hard it is to make the survey, but to go through this and add one more slide that says Murray Park,
Yeah.
I can't imagine that it.
I guess if we're looking for planning for, decades.
I totally agree.
I'm curious to see what people.
I totally think I think you're right. And I think Murray Park we need to include in the survey part to get feedback about Murray Park.
Yeah, because I think Ceresco and other parks certainly are in more need of repairs right now than Murray is. But, I'd just be curious to see what people, because Murray is kind of like Barlow. It's got a lot of real estate.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff that you could do there. I was just curious to see if other people were.
From the sure standpoint of repairs and the playground equipment we do monthly audits on, we are at the end of its life.
At Murray?
All over.
Yep.
We have extended that beyond, and Adam knows this because he plays up there all the time at these parks. He has a young child. I know it because we do And we do monthly surveying of the play stuff, so I see it. I see a lot of equipment that is degraded. So, you know, we can, in the planning, we're planning those equipment pieces and things like that. But it's, the parks are in bad shape. So we know that, and I think, you know, we're looking at some other stuff for Murray Park to leapfrog this stuff up.
Yeah.
When we had talked about also with Murray is waiting for the completion of the senior activity trailhead center to be done. Then we can get a visual layout of everything and, okay, we don't have space for this here, but we do over here. And, you know, after that's done, then do a walkthrough and add stuff is kind of what we were thinking,
Yeah.
you know, until that was done. But to throw a survey on it, it's, you know, within our cost,
Well,
just to
and
see what amenities.
the other thing with the survey right now is there's potential for park usage to change once the senior center is there. I mean, obviously you have all the baseball diamonds down there. I know those are heavily used, but you may have more seniors going out into that park.
Yeah.
Or whatever it may be, you know. Right now I'm guessing there's probably not a ton of them because you have the disc golf course and the baseball diamonds that take up the majority of the.
And the soccer field.
And the soccer field that take up the majority of the park. It's very kid athletic oriented. And honestly, with the senior center, it may change slightly.
I mean, we do have the walking trail there, but.
Right.
Which if you go up in the mornings, you'll see a lot of the seniors from Russell Manor using that for getting out and walking. So, yeah, I mean, I just think it'll give us a better idea once that's up and active to kind of get some input from them also, who are going to be in the park all the time and then view and see what we have that we can use.
From the standpoint of doing a survey, though, this is the time to ask.
Yes.
So I think it is, if we can add a similar slide for Murray, that would be, I think, helpful.
Yep.
Just,
It's really themed
yeah.
around the same, and
I think that should be fine. The one thing that I do caution is, I don't know how many other parks are in town, but you don't want to make this a super lengthy survey, you know, because if you're best response is 5 to 10 minutes.
yeah.
Any longer than that, people don't care, they don't want to do it. So adding in one more park may not be the end of the world, but like I
Well,
said,
we're not gonna add in Redmond Park and
Yeah.
well,
things like that.
Exactly,
You know, these
so-
are our majority of our major holders. Eagle Park is, you know, it's a nice park. I think
It's a neighborhood park.
it's a neighborhood park.
Yeah.
So these bigger ones are, I think would be in, yeah, to add that other survey in for this larger one would probably be good.
okay.
We only have, I don't want to have to do another survey in a year.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's a good point.
I would shorten this section up though, because some of that stuff you can't put there, so why have it on there?
Yeah, it's true. I
Someone's
mean,
gonna say, you know,
So you mean like bike repair stations, horseshoe pits, maybe?
I mean, it already has a bathroom and a shelter, so maybe each one should be tailored to what is not there on this section.
Yeah, I'm guessing, it looks like some of this one might have just been copied almost
Yeah.
straight over from the last one, so. We can, you know, obviously, I mean, the shelter's in, I think, in decent shape over there, the bathrooms and stuff like that, so there's really, to your point, there's probably not a need to say, oh, I want new bathrooms, it's not on the table. If somebody really has an issue with it, they'll put it in the other.
Other, right.
Yeah.
So that'll leave space for the other
We
question.
know those
though.
Yeah.
could be upgraded.
Fix them all,
Yeah.
all the bathrooms.
Yeah, if there's a park that already has a basketball court, there's no
Yeah.
reason to list, do you want to see basketball courts there?
Right.
Or expansion of basketball courts. I think, doesn't Ceresco only have a half?
It's a half a court, and you don't have a lot of room to put a full court
You
in.
can go full court if you want to go on the road, I guess.
Right. Exactly, so.
Okay. I guess, is there anything you want to see added to this list? Is there something that you guys say, hey, I really like this in a park that I've been to, or?
Have you showed us Selfridge yet?
No, that one is a little bit more unique, I think.
I'll wait on that.
One thing that I've seen at some parks in some larger cities is where they have the public drinking water fountains. They also have a thing
For the
down
dog.
lower for dogs to like fill
Yeah.
like dog dishes, whatever. I mean, that's pretty nice to have.
Well, we don't allow dogs in the park.
That's a good point.
Hopefully that can be changed.
Stop.
People are bringing them in anyway.
Maybe because Soresco's right in town, if it was on the, off the sidewalk. That work? No. Sorry, never mind. I don't have a dog, so I don't.
Playing with fire on that one. How far do you let the dog in?
I'm not the one that's got to enforce it.
Well, like I was just saying to Adam, people are bringing their dogs into the parks regardless anyway.
Probably.
I mean, you're up there for activities, you go up for ball games, whatever. There's
yeah,
dogs
they're
in the
all
park, people are walking them around, you see it all the time. You know, that's something that we need to address again as council, and it's either enforcing it heavier or making a change in the ordinance. You know, the biggest thing, as long as people pick up after their animals. That's what it really comes down to.
We could even just include a question about, would you like to see our parks become more dog friendly?
Yeah, there you go.
Because it's just, even like having a trail coming into Murray Park, you're gonna have dogs on that trail.
Yep.
And we're gonna have to put,
No dogs allowed.
we're gonna have to
Yeah.
put waste
Yeah.
stations with
Yeah.
doggy bags,
Mhm.
you know, so I mean, those are, yeah.
I mean, that can just be a question even in the, like, the beginning slides, you know.
Or at the end, yeah.
Or at the end, yeah. It doesn't have to be, you know, per
Per
park.
park,
It's,
yeah.
do you want the parks to be more dog friendly in general? And then if that's a thing, we can go from there.
Yeah. Oh, so much data.
I guess anything else at this time? Otherwise we can keep moving along, hopefully. Horner Park, same questions. Not a whole lot at this park. It's really just open space right now for the most part, as far as I recall.
It's a clean slate to work with.
Right.
Which is nice.
So this one was, as I kind of mentioned initially in our conversations, we had talked about more of a quieter park, probably not a playground or things like that. So a lot of this stuff isn't, you can obviously see that this list is pared down from a lot of what we had. I know what we had talked about is some sort of benches, and Adam really wants a
Yeah.
a
A
hammock
Yeah.
park there.
So if you can't reach them here, you know where you'll be.
Right. So again, just kind of a quieter thing, like maybe people go there for lunch from downtown, since it's right there adjacent to downtown or something like that. You know, more picnic tables, things like that. Again, these are things that we can add in here. I guess I don't know what your guys' thoughts are about that. Adam, am I missing anything with Horner that we talked about?
Can you just go back up to the top for a second, just that picture? Maybe having for the, does it list the address on there? Because some people may not be familiar with some of these parks or their location. I'm just wondering if putting an address somewhere on there would help people.
We probably can. We have Jackson Street and Scott Street called out. And then, Houston Street right there.
Maybe if you outline the park too on that one, because that one's kind of it's kind of a,
What's-
you know,
what's-
like to say where, here's the space that we're actually looking at, because it's sort of a, I mean, everybody knows where that is because of the bridge, right? Like, that was a big deal, right?
Yeah.
The bridge that is falling apart. We talked about a covered bridge.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, that was my original concept.
covered pedestrian.
Wooden covered bridge, yeah. Yeah.
How about some
John Split and I have
flowers
talked about that quite a bit.
We're gonna do there, yeah.
Do you want me to add that as an amenity that we would propose?
You can.
I'd take the big things out. There's nowhere to put a shelter.
Right.
Right. I
No
was-
bathrooms.
But
Right.
there's a covered bridge, that could become
Well, it
the
could be
shelter
a
that people could get in under with inclement weather.
Yeah, gazebo, there we go.
You could do something, yeah,
It could be
gazebo or
a-
something, yeah.
Promoted as the wedding park or something.
Yeah.
And that is an idea, like, yeah.
It's not a very level park, it slopes. That's the only drawback to it, so you're limited to what you can do there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
But there's a lot of people that go down there right now and I'll see them eating dinner, pizza box from Domino's or whatever, and they're just sitting on the one park, picnic table that's there, so it does get used for that aspect. Or they'll fish for chubs off the bridge.
Okay. Is there anything, I guess, any other ideas that you'd like to possibly see down there? I know this is, obviously I have restrooms and shelters coming off of there.
Yeah.
Everything else here is pretty small, I guess, you're looking at benches, tables, that type of thing. Natural landscape, you kind of already have that there.
It's there.
I don't think they're gonna do a whole lot, but, guess I'm trying to think of anything else that we could,
Well, the bike repair station, it's not really on a trail per
Yeah.
se, but,
What would a park's bike repair station look like?
well, they've got them where you can get them along trails. They've got a frame that you can hook your bike up onto if you get a flat or whatever. Some of them have a hand pump with it and those type of things.
Wrenches and-
Yeah, if you
Yeah, they
go
got-
out to Rush Lake and take the loop down around the backside there, Boy Scout did a bike repair station out there a couple of years ago along the trail.
Okay.
And
they got like common tools
Yep.
attached to it, so if you need a screwdriver or an Allen wrench or something like that, you
That's a
can
good idea.
adjust things if you need to.
And there will be one of those at the trailhead up in Murray Park. So,
What's the outdoor fitness station then?
Those can be any number of thing. It's more for like somebody who would want to go to a park and like work out where you would have
Stations?
different,
different types of stations where
We had that
like
in
some
Barlow.
people want to do like pull-ups or sit-ups or something like that. So there's where I see it a lot is like down. I used to go down to like Milwaukee, down by like Bradford Beach. Not that I'm comparing Ripon to Milwaukee, but people would say run on a trail or something like that, and they're doing a workout and they want to do some sort of lifting or something like that in the middle of their run. Is this the park for this? Maybe not, but
we used to have one of those at Barlow Park years ago, and it got so little use that it just deteriorated, so we ended up pulling it. But there were 18 stations that went around
sure.
Barlow.
Yeah, I mean, they make all sorts of different things. You can get one that can do like 8 or 10 different things. It's
The American Ninja Warrior is the one we need to,
Yeah.
they make like courses now for parks that you do, like, there's tons, like, for working out, so you gotta do pull-ups, and it's pretty elaborate, actually.
one of my best friends competed on that show.
Parkour.
But then they have the ones,
I'll have him come test it.
they have like stations, so you're on the trail, yeah, and it's not bad. I mean, you do push-ups and pull-ups and all that, yeah.
Right.
I don't know if that's the park for it, though.
Right. No, I have that one. I have that one coming out. I would like to have a couple more possible ideas, just so that you kind of get people thinking about what they may want. And maybe I can talk to, again, this is our draft, so we obviously know we have to revise it. So, if you guys come up with anything, or if maybe I can talk to them and see if they have other ideas of quieter, slower style park features. Anything else with Horner Park?
Giant chess.
That would be cool.
Sure. You can play that when you're laying in your hammock.
It's not a bad idea. Even bocce ball there isn't bad, you know,
You
really.
can get a
it's-
level spot.
Yeah. if you-
That's the fun part about bocce balls. It doesn't have to be level. You'll have balls in the river all the time, though.
Yeah.
So Selfridge, this is probably one of the most involved parks, I guess, if you will, or one that may have the most potential, in my mind. Just some other, a different style park, I guess, if you will. You have the skate park there, the shelter, ice skating, fishing.
Oh, want to add a kayak launch in there?
Yeah.
Is there an existing one right now?
No.
No, we had talked about
Okay.
that at our last meeting.
Right. This is just
What's there.
what's existing here, or what have you
Oh, I'm
used.
sorry.
So then down here,
Okay.
yeah, some of these. So new kayak launch.
Perfect, okay.
We do have restrooms there.
Yep. Yeah, I think most of those. I mean, I think all the parks pretty much have restrooms except for Horner.
Mm-hmm.
So we can pretty much take those out.
Right.
And we really don't have a desire to put anything in at Horner as far as a bathroom or anything like that, so. Like I said, you can obviously see some other things, and I think like the camping spots were discussed in the
Right.
back corner,
Mm-hmm.
like down in here or something, I believe.
Right.
So some of this stuff was, I wouldn't say predetermined, but was discussed, and that's why it's on these lists.
And those were things that were brought from this committee years ago when we looked at this park.
How about the pier? Is that, because the one was taken down,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be nice to see
Yeah,
back
we
in
had-
there.
put another one in?
Is it a fishing pier or
Yeah,
what's a
it
fishing?
was a handicap accessible.
What's the,
I think
Here that we
the
have.
fishing nodes are more like a how do I want to describe it?
Cantilever? Pier?
Yeah, where it's not real far out into the water. You just
Yeah.
kind of go out maybe 10 feet or something like that. It gets you out further.
A little farther.
And it's up above, it's raised up a little bit. So you could put like 3 or 4 of those around and you could fish different spots. As far as a pier, I guess, what are you thinking as a pier? I'm not familiar what the old one looked like.
The old one was it was an aluminum. It would roll out.
Okay, was
They
that
bring
off
it
of the
in every
building
year.
here?
That was off of.
That was like
this,
down
yeah,
there.
right about in there is where it came out.
Okay.
And it got ice damaged one year, so that's why it got pulled out permanently. But that was handicap accessible. That was the big thing about that. If we do the nodes, we definitely have to
Right.
make that
Well, and,
handicap
I
accessible.
mean, one thing that we could look at is, if we do something like that as a pier, do you build a kayak launch off of that? You can have 2 or 3 of these all involved into one.
Right.
and I don't think people are gonna know what node means,
Right.
just,
Yeah, I
I
didn't
have
know.
no idea. So even if it is a node, you could call it a pier.
Fishing perch,
Or, yeah,
something to
Fishing
that.
platform.
Yeah,
outcropping.
platform, whatever. Give them a little more of an idea of what it really is.
Yep. Take out restrooms and shelters. I'm assuming those are staying at
Right.
this point. So like I said, this one is a little bit different. I think Adam, you wanted some sort of like trail going around there. Was that in Horner that we wanted like that walking trail along?
I think, yeah, there's kind of a concept of a trail along Selfridge, connecting.
Waterfrontage.
Waterfront
Right.
trail, and then also there was the idea using
The
Horner
railroad.
Park and using the old rail.
Railroad going up. And then catching
back to,
Stewart Park,
That would be really nice.
yeah.
that would be a long-term goal. I don't know if the railroad will.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, even just starting on Selfridge and getting kind of that done with fishing piers or fishing nodes
Right.
Yeah.
would be a
It'd be
vast
huge.
improvement.
I think even the kayak launch
Mhm.
of some type would increase more usage for the water.
Anything else with Selfridge? I think this one, like I said, has the most open, and this one's more, I guess, geared towards the water activities side of things. Because it's one of the only parks, I think, that has good, decent water frontage.
Yeah, that in the back upper section, which we call Stewart Park. Those
Right.
are about the only two.
That's on the far side,
Yeah, off the point, past the railroad.
back over
Yeah.
here. Yep. Okay.
Can you, on the maps, can you just do like an outline of the park too, so people kind of
Yeah.
know where?
That'd be helpful.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't understand that little section across that little walking bridge, that's actually part of it also, to the south.
Oh, down in here?
Off the cul-de-sac there, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people don't realize that's
I didn't know that.
part of it.
Yeah, because that's got the skate park over here, which you can't
Mm-hmm.
really see all that well, but maybe we can label that so people know what it is too. So, yeah, I will make sure that all the parks are outlined. I mean, Ceresco's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Right. It's landlocked.
But Horner and Selfridge are a little bit more, I mean, Barlow's even pretty self-explanatory too. You got the road and houses, so. But yes, we will get something on there.
What's that water like? Is it
Wet?
swimmable?
What?
No, like, where is it, is it, could you swim in it?
Sure.
Pretty.
Years
Why
ago-
don't we make a beach and
Years ago, we did, off the point, when they were lowering the water level and dredging it 25 years ago, something like that. We did put a retardant mat off the point to keep weeds out, and then we put pea gravel on top of that, and it never got used.
I think you can kind of still see it in the water.
Yeah.
There's like a pea gravel or
Right.
something there.
It just never got used.
Wow.
Because you get good water motion coming from under the bridge, the railroad bridge, and then it kind of just whiffs across the point there and heads towards the dam. Everything on the south side is kind of just a slow rotation, but the fish seem to love it because there's some fish cribs out in that area. But yeah, the swim area just never took off, and then it's a swim at your own risk because you don't have a lifeguard on duty and all that you get into, and that's,
There's sort of a history there too with contamination.
yeah, in the park,
Yeah.
It is tested annually.
yeah.
I think they just
We'll see
completed
that.
that for contamination on that, the one shoreline there at the top right of the screen still
Yeah.
has to do with,
And that would be a good.
Used to be a
PR too, let
refinery
people know
area
that,
in
like,
there,
the
so-
water is clean, it's tested and stuff
Yeah.
like. When I was a kid, we used to fish there all the time, and we
Yeah.
got did Boy Scouts, like, merit badges and fishing and stuff like that up there, and everyone else is like, oh, you're gonna catch a three-eyed fish or something. Like that. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, there's a public park, I'm pretty sure it's safe, but, yeah.
Back when we were kids, everything was fine.
Yeah, everything was fine,
Didn't
yeah.
make a difference.
Exactly.
Just be home by 5 for dinner.
Exactly.
That was about it.
So basically,
contaminated?
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah. Tastes like paper.
didn't eat them. I can tell you that much. I mean, do we want to put beach on there as an option? Or is it, I mean, it doesn't hurt to add a checkbox on there, and if it's something that people really want, obviously you did it once, but
Yeah. It's
or
a liability thing
Okay,
also,
never mind.
and where does that all fall, and,
Yep.
I'd rather just avoid that myself.
I think there's an expectation in today's society that the water you swim in is like crystal clear, right?
They go to green light.
Yeah, I don't.
Which is not crystal
Well, look at
clear.
all the.
I think there's just a.
Yeah.
There's just a. It looks like chocolate milk. There's no way I'm getting in it.
Yeah. Yeah,
We'll leave it off then.
yeah.
If we get enough interest.
Somebody says, yeah.
If somebody puts that in the other
Right.
box, well then, we know.
That is not saying that creating a beach-like atmosphere or having areas there with Adirondack chairs or
Tiki bar.
sand or anything like that would not be, wouldn't be objected to, I don't think, so. There's something about being at a beach without going in the water too. I mean, but- It's a whole vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
That's another park that seems bigger than it actually is in space. As you walked it, you can tell. There's not a whole heck of a lot you can do on the peninsula section, but the southern portion, there's room to do some stuff there.
Right. The part where people don't really know what's the park.
Correct.
All right, so what else do we have? Safety questions. There you go. Are people going elsewhere to go? Are they going to Green Lake to go swimming? So,
It's where you could ask the dog question.
right.
Right.
Yes, there you go. I'll add it as number 28. Where did I put my note?
Bless you.
Asking about programs or structured activities, like I said, if there's like workout classes or yoga classes or something like that, that
There is
regularly
already.
use it.
There's a group up in Barlow Park that uses it for the aerobics in it. They use the basketball court.
Oh.
Unless it's raining, then they go up underneath the Ripon Fest Pavilion.
So seeing if there's any interest in more,
Additional, yeah,
more of
additional
that
program.
basically. And then asking any more questions, and that's it, you're done.
And then we'll add one for Murray Park that'll be relatively, I would assume,
Basic.
similar to Barlow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would think so.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of the same things there,
Yep.
baseball, tennis.
Basketball.
Huh? Questions, concerns with the overall survey, I guess?
When are you gonna want the results back for this?
So we recommend having it open at least for 2 weeks. We were gonna propose running it the entire month of June. So if we can get it turned around quickly, back to you guys, hopefully. I guess it all depends on the timeline. You know, if we are seeing really good survey results early, maybe we don't need to keep it open super long. If everybody hits it and then all of a sudden it dies
It
off.
dies off.
Then, maybe we close it. But the only thing that's gonna impact is if, say we start it next week, the, whatever day that is, the 6th. And if we do run it for a full month, you'd run it through basically to the 4th of July. And so then I think we can turn these concepts around pretty quickly.
Okay.
And I think if we have to, we might be able to make up a little bit of time there. The only thing is, the longer we leave it open, it may shift a little bit, we're looking at ending in 2022 here in December. Is it a big deal if it goes into January, February of 2023? I don't know. But the nice thing that it would be is when you start doing budgeting and looking at numbers and stuff like that, you know, if there is an immediate need
Right.
or want, you know, that would be a good time to get it into the budget before the end of the year, so.
So we're looking at August, if we're looking to do anything budget-wise.
We can leave it open as long as you want, but I would
I would think
recommend a
3
month.
weeks would be more than enough time, which would be the end of June.
Right,
For the people that are interested in doing it, they're gonna get on it right away.
right.
Yeah, if we have a goal of issuing it next week, Monday, and closing it the weekend after, the Monday, whatever the 4th is, I think.
The
that-
4th is on a Monday, I believe.
Yeah,
So
Yep,
so if we look at the
shut it down on,
30th,
I mean, or the 1st or whatever, yeah, I mean, that gives you 1, 2, 3, almost 4 full weeks
right,
still.
if you end it at the 30th, that's just about 4 weeks, that's plenty
Like
long.
you said, the people who really care about it are probably gonna either do it right away,
Yep,
or otherwise they probably don't care all that much, so.
and the biggest thing is gonna be for us to get it out there to the public to know about it, to get on to do it.
That the outreach is probably the most important, making sure people know that it's out there.
Once we know the dates we're running it, we
Yeah,
can post stuff,
well, you know,
flyers around, so.
hit the paper, hit the radio. I'm sure Bob Nelson will be glad to pound it heavy for us at the radio station. Social media, everybody's on that, except for me, so.
You don't even have email.
I do, it's just not sent to the right email.
Too stupid.
Which one of the 4 that I presently have did it not get sent to? So, yeah. I think if we can get that notification out there ASAP, we should be good by ending it on the 30th of the month and
Okay.
keep the ball rolling.
What else do you have for me? That's my presentation, Adam, that you wanted. There it was.
thank you.
And a good job you did.
Any other questions, concerns?
I think we
Comments?
gave you plenty to work on.
So yeah, I think the goal then is to get that done, and then we'll meet in probably July to go over things, and then
Do we have a goal for the number of responses we're hoping to?
I was
receive?
hoping to get 100. You know, and you bring up a point too, I think if somebody, you know, we could give a gift card away, or we could, you know, enter people that enter into a drawing if you want to incentivize it. I think there's enough people out there that are interested in this that we'll get a good number. I would hope, I think on any survey, if you get to 100 people,
You're doing well.
you're doing okay. I would hope we'd get more than that.
I think we got enough followers on
Yeah.
the Facebook stuff that
Get thrown a free
the
dump
shares
ticket.
there.
Free dump ticket?
Free
There you
dump
go.
ticket, right?
That seems to be popular, yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Everyone's got mattresses they gotta get rid of.
A free brush pickup.
Yep. Free something.
You just have to call to get it.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, ultimately at 500, if we got, that would be wild. I think, you know, that would be, but I think we can get pretty far with it. Oh,
What we should have done is before school was out, I'm assuming school's out, right?
This week.
Friday.
There you go. Quick, get a letter and all the kids to take home to their parents
Yeah.
and say,
They'll forget it.
put it in their report card.
your last thing that we got.
Anything coming out the last week of school is
It's
going
gone.
right in the garbage.
Don't you remember that last week of school when you were there?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Will you be able to do it on your phone? Like, will it be a mobile-friendly one?
I believe it is.
I would assume so. Let me check real quick.
I believe SurveyMonkey is mobile.
Should
friendly.
be, but yeah. So I have it pulled up right now, so it's really easy to, same thing.
Okay.
Just click in there, so. Yes.
We could just text the link around.
That's true.
We'll get a flyer put up, we'll do the QR code on that.
Yep.
Get it put up, get it out on social media, get it out online. Have everybody we know share it. Even just having Main Street share it or the chamber share it.
Yeah.
It's
Donate
gonna-
placemats.
I don't say, like, I mean, we'll share it on our business page, and I'm sure
Yeah.
Knuth had put something up in his window or something, so. Especially, I mean, having that QR code is really easy for people. They walk into Knuth and they see that, and they can just,
Pop it.
you know,
It is nice, otherwise you're trying to type in a
Sweet and
exact
salties.
URL to
yeah,
something.
sweet salties,
You know,
exactly.
places where families,
Right, something like
Tend to
right there
go.
on the door where
Yep.
people can just,
See if you can get it down at some restaurants or something.
yeah.
The more the better, I guess.
Yep.
This is the chance.
And then people feel important when they get the right to voice their opinion and all that kind of stuff.
as they
So it's-
should.
Right, and they're the ones using it, so. Public engagement is a very big deal when it comes to parks, so.
Parks and school are what people mostly determine whether they're gonna move to a community or not. All right.
All right, well, we'll keep plugging away at it.
I will get these changes made. And then maybe I'll send it over to you guys, or I'll send it to you, Adam, and if you want to distribute it to the group
Yep.
here, have them take a quick look at it, or even do the survey and see if you have any issues with it, you know, kind of do a little quick testing thing on it
Yeah.
and make sure everything works right before we send it out to the masses. But it's all dynamic, so if there's a major issue, we can quickly change it, and it should change very quickly, so.
Perfect.
That's all I got.
That was plenty.
An hour later.
Thanks, Dan.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, projects and updates. Mike, you have anything?
Yeah, I have a whole list.
All right.
So, first of all, thanks to SSM Healthcare here that did a park cleanup. You probably might have seen it on our Facebook. It really helps out when people do that, just cleaning up the tennis or basketball or tennis courts, whatever they are, at Barlow with the pine needles and the area around. So thank you. That is really helpful. The current stats, we just do the current stats year over year to see how we're doing. You can probably see that rentals or usage for most of our parks, Barlow North and the Upper Murray are the most used or most wanted rental areas. I know what happened in 2020. So I expect to have a good year on that this year. We did issue vendor a PO to spray broadleaf weeds at the fields. The mediums outside of town, downtown in some areas I had a map that, and we've been doing that for the last, I started that 3 years ago. I couldn't stand it. But that should help reduce and those dandelions that we get and help the growth of the grass. So we'll get that sprayed twice a year. To really when it hits them pretty hard. We had a trapper in helping us throughout cemeteries and in the parks. So cemetery. One that kind of goes to Public Works, but we've had issues with woodchucks and things like that digging into the graves. While he was here, he did put traps down in the gopher. I call it Caddyshack 101 or 1.0. So, and we did last week, myself and 60 smoke bombs in the Diedrich Field and halfway into the Alliance Field, and we're monitoring that to get rid of those. Cover up, you light them, you put them in, and then you cover the hole up with dirt, and that takes care of them. So
Hopefully.
I got another 100 of those sitting. I have seen, I don't see them popping up in Diedrich Field like they used to. So we will continue our way around to the other fields. Right now, it costs us just our labor and stuff. So do we see those down at the softball diamond? So,
Unless they migrate to the west because of
well,
what you're doing now.
they're migrating. They're staying right where they need to. So the trapper did pull all the traps today. We weren't getting, the next phase, if we need to, will be after the ball seasons, which is the end of July, is we will quarantine a field if we have. And do that and just announce that. We just couldn't do it with the ball clubs going on now and school still in session and stuff like that. So I think that.
Is that something that could be done more like in August or September?
I think
As
that-
they slow down their movement?
Well, I think now's a good time to hit them because of the breeding.
But I meant if you have to poison.
Yes. Look at the poisoning then, after all the activity is over with. But I don't think we will have to do that from the results I'm seeing.
Good.
Okay?
Affect other animals like,
The hole,
okay, so,
and covered up. It only affects whatever is in there. Where we have live traps, more into the cemeteries, you're going to the traps that were set, the kill traps that were set by the quads, you could get a squirrel, but we strictly saw gophers. Okay? They did spray the warning tracks, so those are sprayed. We use a Buccaneer product. It takes a little longer to set up rather than a Roundup, so it doesn't show for. They do need some attention.
And they did the fence lines on the ball fields too?
Fence lines too, yep.
As I saw on Diamond 6 where we had put the new sod,
Yep,
they had sprayed that sod.
yep.
Oh, you couldn't do that with just a wand and a backpack?
They could, if we had,
I'll wait till this fall and go back up and re-put seed
Yeah.
down because we don't want to start getting that encroachment of dirt out in that.
Sprayed for
I didn't,
the infields are pretty bad with the weeds, like down the base paths and out by like second base. I mean, it's,
yeah, we wouldn't spray those. We haven't sprayed those. We would spray the softball at all.
Okay.
Unless I get somebody to walk through there, we could. But those haven't even been worked up, have they?
well, yeah, I mean, so rec is already practicing and
But nothing's been done on the fields for turning them over and that through the source that the programs hire out.
I'm not
I think
sure. I'd have to
he
talk
just
to
does it
Jason.
for the games.
Usually that
And
works
that's
that
it.
all up. But,
I saw, I mean, last night at practice, it looks like they did 2 fields were like drug, but the other 2.
Yeah.
So,
Nothing.
I can add that to the, I'll get to the help here, so.
And we did replace bases on Diamond 2 and the pitching rubber.
mound?
And the pitching mound rubber will be replaced on Diamond 4.
Okay.
So then those will all be
Okay.
in good shape.
Oh, I do have a question for you too about the infields. Are we able to mow as a Ripon Youth Baseball, can we mow the infields shorter?
No, our mower's set at,
Ripon Youth
Hand
Baseball?
yes,
We can't.
yes, we've run into that before, on Barlow, and that's, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
There used to be a group of years ago that,
Yeah.
the grass wise and that.
Well, as I was talking with Jamie, and it's like, last year we had the Ripon tournament was canceled because of COVID, and the year before that, it was supposed to be a 2 or 3 day long tournament, and we had to compete with these other teams, and so now we're trying to have it, later in the year, and so they really want to, make the fields look nice, since the last 2 years have not gone great.
Yeah,
so.
and quite honestly, that 2020 season, from that one season not being used,
Right.
and I think we're still recovering a little bit from that.
Yeah.
But
And it's pretty much the quads, because Barlow and had all been worked on
yeah,
during that time period, so.
let me just write this down here. Okay. So right now we have, we get 3 summer help. We get 2 in cemeteries and we get 1 in parks. So 1 more is coming on board Monday. So we'll be fully staffed at that point to be able to do some things for that. Otherwise, up until then, I only have 1 person. I can move resources around, and I'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. We've worked through some of those details. I've worked with PD on, and the individual to clean up the issue. But what we're seeing is school gets let out and they kind of filter through that area. So I'm locking it down during the week and opening it up on the weekends on the pavilion to reopen that permanently for the summer unless there's more vandalism issues. Okay? We're seeing doors kicked in and we're getting quite a bit of damage. The road construction that's going on, we wrote into the document that we're doing all pulverizing, which means that they're coming in and they're smashing that road up and then they're recompacting down. There will be extra material left over from that. Okay, and it'll just be put in piles. So we're going to utilize that. It's like gravel, and create fill in those holes and create that parking lot filled in. It's really no cost to the city. The contractor just brings that in. Any other, they're going to haul to the compost site, so we have that to use out there for our rocks that are showing up from our area there. Were just the arched ones. So there was one up in Murray and there was one in Selfridge. We have the materials, that's all ready to go to put those at some point this summer, okay? The other ones were just thin material and wore out and rusted and all kinds of.
You're talking about the adult swings?
The adult ones that are at the dam, these will be put into the spots they were, so we didn't lose track of that. If the clubs have special events or something going on, I can rearrange for mowing and and that's what we did to once we knew about the regional meet.
Yep.
I double mowed that because we typically mow kind of for the weekend, but if there's something else we need on that, I kind of need to know about it because I can rearrange how things are mowed then to a certain extent. Okay? That's all I have, unless you guys, they're working at it.
A lot to do. Short on help.
We'll knock it off.
Anybody have any questions for Mike? Okay, Adam, you have anything?
Not industries out of, or enterprises out of Green Bay. They sell park equipment. So we had them come and measure all of our ball fields and trying to get ahead of some of the planning stuff for next year. We had talked about that last year in coordination with the senior center project, trying to do dugouts and shade structures and other amenities up at ball rolling, or to at least see what it's going to cost them. So they will be putting together some plans. We can review those in the coming months as well. And see if
To before a little bit. I didn't want to,
and just having someone here that sells entire ball fields and designs them out. There's very interesting things that something, and it's just interesting to take that view of it, even things like the netting and how you look through a chain link fence. You know, there's a lot of different things we can do. So trying to scope this out appropriately is what they're doing, and obviously, you know, planning stuff, because we just know these are needs. We will bring that forward as it evolves.
All right. Any suggestions for agenda for the next meeting? Contact Adam or myself, and we'll make sure we get it put on. We definitely will meet in July. As we
Probably.
will have information coming back. So,
When will your meeting in July be?
We'll try to get back on the regular schedule.
yeah, which is
so the
normally the
fourth
fourth-
Tuesday?
Wednesday.
My fourth Wednesday, sorry.
Okay. That would be good, because I was gonna say if it's Wednesday or whatever, then we're gonna have a tough time getting
if it's the
numbers
fourth,
and results by then, but
All right.
well, if it's the fourth Wednesday, is that the last week in July?
Should be. I don't think there's.
yes.
I won't be able to make that.
Then we'll do the 20th.
Okay.
Which is, because then I'll be back in town.
Or we'll do the 13th. Or we'll do a special meeting too if we need the week before. If it has to be on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, if there's something that works, doesn't work, we'll just try to get people
Get it done so we can keep the ball rolling.
Make sure whenever that's decided, get that over to me, if you want us to be here.
I don't know if I do.
It's fine.
All right. Like I say, next meeting it'll be in July. We'll figure out the exact date and get that out. Otherwise, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's second. Okay. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Better to observe.